Let's talk about July. G'day to all you lovely people. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Kathy, and today I'm going to give you updates on how July went, what books I read, what I watched, how my plants are doing, etc. Now, it is still bloody cold in Melbourne. In fact, it has been freezing. It has been getting to around 0 overnight, and the days have been really cold. I went out the other day. I had to go and buy a washing machine and dryer, and I thought, oh my God, I'm not leaving the house until spring because it was just so cold, even though I was all rugged up. Now, of course, that isn't true. Of course I go out, but honestly, I'm not inclined to go anywhere when it is this cold. And it's also been really gloomy, like very overcast, raining a lot. And for someone like me who relies on sunlight for recording videos, it has made it really difficult. In fact, I've had to refilm several videos because they just didn't come out. For 2 weeks it was so gloomy I couldn't record anything. So it's been a challenge, but that always happens in winter. I had the same issues last year. Yeah, that's the fun of being a YouTuber, right? Who is doing it all by herself. Anyway. So what did I get up to? Pretty much the usual. Nothing new to report except that I did get my 4th vaccination for COVID, and it really knocked me about. In fact, I think I'm still not quite over it, and it has been 2 weeks now. Hasn't been really bad. It's just made me feel very lethargic and very tired. So I've been sleeping and not doing all that much physically, which is fine. As far as I'm concerned, it's worth the cost. I caught up with friends and family as always. I also bought a new humidifier because I wanted to get something with a bit more storage space. My humidifier was just a small one. I think it was 4 litres, but it was a pain in the butt to fill. When I was looking for humidifiers a few years ago, the only ones I could find in Australia were the ones that you had to lift and turn upside down to fill, which is a pain. So I thought, fine, let's get a new one. And I actually got a floor standing one so that I can put it in my living room. And I think it helps me with my breathing, especially since it is so dry in winter because I've got the heater on. And I don't think the plants mind it either. So I did that. I did buy a new washing machine and dryer. At the moment, I can't access my dryer. It is hung. It's the only thing I could have done with it because I have a top-loading washing machine. And I thought what I need to do is get a front loader, which apparently are better anyway, and then I can stack the dryer on top. So I bought them, and they were supposed to deliver and install them on Saturday, and would you believe they would not take down my old dryer? When have we become this society where we do the bare minimum for our job? Even though you pay for it, because I did. I paid for premium installation. Yeah, that's not what I got. No, I got half the job done. And now I have to chase them up, or somebody up, to come out and do it. And who knows when they'll do it. Very frustrating. And I know it doesn't just happen to me, but on top of this, I've been having major issues with the bookshop Dymocks. Wow. I actually want to do a rant video on this because they are the worst I have ever come across. Not just in books, but in anything. I ordered all these Georgette Heyer books because I was looking to get a complete set that match. And the photos on their website show one particular cover, which is why I bought them. And they sent me the first book and it was wrong. So I rang them up and I said, look, if you don't have the right ones, don't bother sending them to me because I'm just going to return them. And they still did. Yeah, twice, because I made 2 orders, separate orders, and they didn't check any of them. They just sent them all to me, and you know, it's your responsibility to pack them up and return them. And even though we will pay for postage for you to return them to us, You are going to pay for the postage for us to send them. Wow. They screwed up massively. I warned them. I said, don't do it. And they still did it. They didn't care that they inconvenienced me, that I had to find somebody to take the boxes because they were too big for me to the post office. They didn't care what trouble they put me through. And all it would have taken was somebody to look at them and say, oh no, these aren't the ones she wants. It was very easy to tell the difference between the ones they sent me and the ones I wanted. So I've been having this ongoing battle with them about the cost of the postage, which is not all that much, but I just refuse to give them any leeway given that they're not willing to do anything to make it easier on me. Does that make me really stubborn? Probably, but it doesn't matter. When I buy a book online, it is based on the edition you are showing me. You can't then stick some tiny little clause somewhere that we can't guarantee the covers. Put it on the item description so I know that that is a possibility. But don't stick it somewhere else so then you can claim, well, we warned you. Because this is what they did. A friend of mine, Jacqueline, put it really well. She says, imagine buying a dress that has roses on it and instead you get the same dress but with daffodils. It's not the same thing. And for book lovers, and they claim to be book sellers, and they are a large bookseller, they know very well that book lovers will buy specific editions, which is why there are dozens of different types. We're not just going to go and buy any old book, we're going to buy the ones that we want. And yet they seem to feel, well, it doesn't matter, I'll send you what I want and you can just put up with it because I guess most people would. I'm just really stubborn and I refuse to put up with it because it doesn't match my other ones. Ultimately, what I decided is I will never, ever buy from them again. Even if they are the only bookshop that sells a book I want, I don't care. Their customer service is the worst I have ever seen. And frankly, I wouldn't recommend them to anyone. So it's given me a lot of headaches. It's taken me almost 2 months to try to collect these Georgette Heyer books. And I still haven't finished because they've delayed it too. I'm just tired of companies in particular or people not doing their job. Simple job. Check that these are the right ones. No, we don't want to do it. It's too much work. But hey, it's okay if you do all the work because maybe you will put up with it and you will then keep the books and we win, we get our profits. Not impressed, Dymocks, and I will never, ever buy from you again. I'm done with this company. Anyway, enough of a rant about that. I know I've gone a bit on, but it's been something that has been dragged out now for a month and a half, nearly 2 months. The good news is that through other sources, not through Dymocks, I have almost all the Georgette Heyer books I want, so I'm extremely happy. I just think they look really nice. I have never been able to have a matching set. I've never been able to get all the books. They were always out of print. You could only get a few editions. So it's nice to actually have the complete set now, or almost complete set. So what else have I been up to? I finally finished this jumper. Last night actually. I was determined to wear it today. But yes, it is finally done. I have not been knitting all that much this winter at all. And honestly, if I hadn't been feeling some effect from the 4th vaccine, I think I would have finished this at least a week ago. Doesn't matter, it's done. I love it. I love the color. It is just like my red one. Just has some cable on the side and oh my God, I found a mistake and now I am seriously thinking about undoing it just to fix this mistake. Though people are saying, no, you can't notice it, but I know it's there. Well, I guess that's what happens with handmade stuff, right? You do occasionally make mistakes. It's just for me now, it is glaringly obvious, so I try to ignore that it's there. So of course, if I'm knitting, I'm always watching something. And I have been watching Supernatural. I just finished season 7 and I'm already into season 8. I always watch a lot more when I'm knitting a lot more, and I have been knitting a bit more. I'm still watching a little bit of Vikings, though I think I've almost reached the point where I was when I started watching a few months ago. So I'm taking my time. I'm kind of really getting into Supernatural right now. I've been wanting to watch Stranger Things because I love Stranger Things. It is so nostalgic for me. So I'm looking forward to watching that. Maybe next month, we will see. And I still have a bit of knitting to do. I had this jumper that I started last year and it got warm, so I stopped knitting it. I thought I'll wait until winter. And this one has taken me a while, so I thought, okay, now that I'm done with this, I am going to do that one. So we'll see if I get it finished by next month. Maybe, maybe not. I'm in no rush, doesn't really matter. So while it seems like I've been watching a lot, because I have been the last few days, I don't think it's been that much, because I've been looking at how many books I've read and I thought, wow, that's quite a few. So yeah, let's talk about books, what I've read. Okay. I finished the Alex Verus series by Benedict Jacker. It is, I think, 12 books. I was reading them last month and I had the last one to finish. And if you watched last month's wrap-up video, you will know that I did not like this character. I hated him and wanted him to die. I really did. I disliked him intensely. And I hated the ending. I cannot tell you how much I hated it. It was the complete opposite of what I wanted. Now, of course, the author has every right to choose how to finish his book, but I stand by what I said. Alex Verus is a horrible person, and how the book ended, just... I can't tell you how mad it made me. I almost threw it across the room. I was so disappointed. But I did really enjoy the series. It was, for me, something different. It had what I call not even an anti-hero, a villain throughout the books who I hated, but I was enjoying seeing the world through his eyes. It's not that I wouldn't recommend this series, because I actually do. I really enjoyed it. I just hated this character. Our main character. Yeah, but it's okay to hate the main character, don't you think? I think so. After that, I decided to read a few Agatha Christie books. Not the Hercule Poirot's. I'm leaving them for last. So I started the Tommy and Tuppence books. There are 4. I've read 2 so far. Tommy and Tuppence are 2 characters who have been friends, I think, since childhood, and who are out of work after, I think, the war, and decide to advertise that they will do anything within reason, and who kind of get embroiled in this mystery. Rather than being a murder mystery, I think theirs are more spy thrillers or spy mysteries or espionage mysteries. They're very charming characters. I really enjoyed the first book. The second one was short stories, and I'm just not a big fan of short stories, but I enjoyed it as well. After that, I decided to try the Superintendent Battle books by Agatha Christie. I read The Secret of the Chimneys, I think, Towards Zero, 7 Dials, Murder is Easy. I really enjoyed them as well, but I think Superintendent Battle plays not a huge part in these books, so I didn't find him as compelling a character as, say, Poirot or Marple or Tommy and Tuppence. Nevertheless, I did enjoy the books. In addition, I read a few other one-off Agatha Christie books. I read Sittaford Mystery. I read What About Evans or something like that. I liked that one, actually. That one was interesting. And I read The Unexpected Guest, which is apparently a play that Christie wrote, which was dramatised by Charles Osborne. I didn't like his writing, I'll be honest. The mystery was okay, but his writing kind of put me off a bit. I also started The Passenger to Frankfurt. For some reason I didn't finish it, which is very unusual for me. I usually don't leave books in the middle. I can't remember why I stopped reading it. Who knows, I might have gotten interrupted. That one though is more a espionage one rather than a murder mystery. Perhaps that's why I took a break. I don't know. I will eventually get back to it and finish it though. It's been, I think, a couple of months since I've read any Agatha Christie, so I really enjoyed it. And I read quite a few, I know. I then read Moon Over Soho by Ben Aronovich. This is the second Rivers of London book with Peter Grant. It was okay. I enjoyed some things about it, some things I really didn't like about it. I have the third one and I was going to read it, and then whilst talking to my friend about different authors, I mentioned to her this author, Jill Shalvis, who is a contemporary romance writer. I don't read romance anymore unless it is Georgette Heyer, though I have read quite a few over the years, and I haven't really liked any more recent authors until I discovered Jill Shalvis about 8 or so years ago. I really like her writing style. She seems to write more realistic stories. Her characters are more nuanced. They face real issues. The romance is good without being sickly sweet. And she can be extremely funny at times. And I've read a lot of her books years ago, but when I was talking to my friend, I realized, oh, she has brought out all these new ones. And I thought, I think I want to read a few. So I did. And I read Almost Just Friends. That was the first one I've read in many, many years. I didn't love that one so much. But the next one I read, I absolutely loved. These are all ones I've not read before. And they are part of the Wildstone series, I think. I read Lost and Found Sisters, which was so charming and so cute. I just really liked the characters in that one. And then I read Good Luck Sisters, which is a novella featuring one of the characters from the previous book. I also read Rainy Day Friends, which I really liked, The Lemon Sisters, and Summer Deal. Yeah, I read a few. These are so easy to read and they are very fast reads for me anyway. I have bought a few others of her books as well, so I will be reading more in the future whenever I want to break from other things. And for my classic of the month, I read The Old Man and the Sea by Ernest Hemingway. I know he's very famous. I have seen many films based on his books, but I have never read any. And The Old Man in the Sea is a very short book. I think it's about 80 or 90 pages. It's about an old fisherman who hasn't had much luck catching any fish. And I think he and most of the people in this town are very poor. And he had a young boy who initially fished with him, but when they didn't catch anything, moved on and started fishing with others. And yet they have this very strong bond. And I have to say, that bond was probably my favourite thing about the book. The story was really about this old man wanting to catch this big fish. What I took away from the book was that the message is you're never too old to have dreams and to try to fulfill those dreams. Though sometimes the result may be unexpected. That was my takeaway from it. It's a very easy book to read. I liked some of the writing. Some of the description regarding the fishing I found a bit boring. I don't fish, so maybe that's why. But other parts were good, particularly the relationship between the boy and the old man. That was fantastic. And I do intend to read more Hemingway in the future. And I did read some reviews about this book. People were saying it's the greatest thing ever. I don't agree with that. It was a good book, but I certainly wouldn't class it as a great book. Not in my opinion anyway. And the last book I read and I'm not sure if this would be considered a classic or not, though I think it is The Magic Nephew, the first book in the Chronicles of Narnia. I have been wanting to reread it and terrified that I'll hate it for years. And I buddy read it with my friend Jacqueline, and we both really enjoyed it, really loved it. Oh, I did. I just could not put it down. I think I read it in one afternoon. It's not a big book, and it still has so much charm. And yet, from my recollection, I didn't read The Magic Nephew first. I read The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. I think I read them according to publication date rather than chronological order. Doesn't matter. I really loved it. And now that I'm in this world, I'm going to read all of them. I don't know if I'll read them all together, but I definitely intend to start The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe tonight, actually. But wow, I just love this world so much, and it is so nostalgic for me to be reading it at this age, when the last time I would have been 13, maybe 14, which is 45 years ago. Wow, that's a lifetime, isn't it? Hopefully I will love the rest just as much as I loved the first. So all up, I think that was 19 books, though some of them are a little small. Doesn't matter, that's a lot of books. Wow, yeah, that's one of my biggest reading months, I think. Okay, now let's move on to my plants. Okay. I am sad to report that there have been several deaths this last month. Yeah, I am in mourning. I lost 5, count them, 5 plants last month. I'm a plant killer. Yeah, I am. Perhaps that is partly due to the cold, I don't know, but that's a lot. In fact, this winter has been the hardest my plants have gone through. And this is my 4th winter. Even my first, where I didn't know anything or didn't really know all that much about plants, I didn't lose that many. Now I do have more plants, so perhaps the percentage isn't that high, but still, in 1 month, that's a lot of plants. And guess who the main culprit is? Peperomias. Wow. I am done with buying these finer leaved ones. I'm not giving up entirely, but I'm certainly not going to be replacing some of these. No point. What's the point of trying and then getting miserable because I can't keep it alive and watching it slowly deteriorate? I think I still have another 2, which I'm expecting to die anytime. My Moon Valley Pilea, which I've had for 2 years almost now, that one died as well. Oh, I'm so gutted. I loved that plant. It was just a little plant and it was beautiful, but I honestly think the cold must have got to it. I don't know what else it was, unless it was watering, which is always a possibility. I am going to replace that one because I kept it alive for 2 years, so I know that I can. I was actually intending to put that one in a terrarium. I just never got around to doing the terrarium. Perhaps this spring. Perhaps. The other one, my Aglaonema, I think it's Pink Lady or Pink something. Very pink plant. Wow, yeah, she just killed all her leaves, didn't she? I do not have good success with Aglaonemas. I cut her to the base and there is not much left. No, I don't know if she'll come back. One of my Aglaonemas that looked ready to die, I had it outside and it put on a little bit of growth. So I guess we will see if this one will come back, but I expect it won't. So yeah, in memoriam. Let's move on from all this grief to something better. Now, I normally show you guys plants that are doing well. I think I've shown most of them because it is winter and not much has changed. So instead, this month, I'm going to show you how the plants that I got for my birthday are doing. The ones I bought from nursery to you. Most of them are doing really well, I think. Now, there was one plant that I got as a bonus plant, which looked like the raindrop peperomia, but when I put it next to mine, I could see it wasn't a raindrop. It looked to me more like the Pilea peperomoides. I actually gifted that to my carer, so it's not in my care, and she told me today it's doing really well. No surprise. Next is my peperomia putuletta or diamond. I don't know how to pronounce that. I originally had this one on my desk and it started dropping leaves all the time, especially all the new growth. It wasn't happy there. I don't know why. Who knows? Could have been the cold, could have been a change in circumstances. Regardless, I moved it into my dining area so it gets a lot of very bright light, and I think it's happy. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. It's a beautiful little plant too. I was really hoping this one would take off. The next one is also peperomia. It is the rotundifolia, I think. You know, I'll put the correct name on the screen anyway. This one has taken off. This is the one that had a warning on it to be very careful not to break it off because it was holding on to the roots by one tiny stem. Well, this can't stop growing. Look at how long it has gotten. It is incredible how much it has grown. I'd say it's probably tripled, if not quadrupled in length. One of the stems from this plant had broken when it got posted to me, which I've got in the prop box. I'm not sure how it's doing. I have checked it, but I can't remember now. Doesn't matter. This one is doing so well, I'm not worried that I'm going to lose it. And I'm thinking I might propagate it in spring so I can fill out the top of the pot. But yeah, that one is very happy. The next plant I'm going to show you is another bonus plant I got from Nursery to You, and that is this unknown Syngonium. I'm not sure which variety it is. It is doing really well, actually. When I got it, one of the leaves was yellowing, and it took 3 months for that leaf to finally go full yellow. So it looks a little bare, but it's healthy and it's happy. And it's really cute. I think so anyway. Next, my Birkin, Philodendron Birkin. This one has proved really easy, and boy does he love his position. He is killing it. He is doing so well and he looks gorgeous. I just love the variegation on his leaves. In fact, his leaves are really white. I don't know if they go darker with time, but it doesn't matter. He's just stunning and very happy. He's even got aerial roots. I did not know that they could have aerial roots. And last but not least, my absolute favorite is my Syngonium Three Kings. She is doing brilliantly, cannot stop growing. She's actually put on quite a bit of height as well. She continuously pushes out new leaves. She's dropped a couple, which is natural, but overall, she can't stop growing and she looks fantastic. I think so anyway. She is definitely a real favorite of mine. She sits on the table in my dining area and she loves this spot. She is very happy there. And I think if she's doing so well, if all these plants are doing so well through this very hard winter, I can't even begin to imagine how they'll do in spring. And hopefully I won't get a lot of pests. Hopefully, yeah, cross your fingers. Nobody wants pests, right? So that is all I have for you guys today. Now, of course, you know, I want to hear, what have you been reading? How are your plants doing? What have you been doing? Because I know for many of you in the Northern Hemisphere, you are in summer. I can't wait. And that's all I can think of is one more month and we're in spring. Usually I don't mind winter, but this one I have not liked at all, nor have my plants. So share with me what you guys have gotten up to, how your plants are doing, how life's treating you. Have you read anything really interesting? Have you watched anything really interesting? You know, I always want to hear. And you can put it down in the comments or you can contact me on Instagram. As usual, thank you all so much for hanging out with me. And if you like this video, you can like, comment and subscribe as it helps my channel to grow. I hope you all have a beautiful day and I'll see you next time. Bye! And today I'm going to tell you how I